The time is precisely 6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by Chandima Veerakorn. The headlines. The President says that the agricultural export sector should be strengthened in the endeavour of rebuilding the national economy. Attention of the President will be focused to pay at least 5,000 rupees from the 10,000 rupees of salary increase from next January onwards. State Minister Anupa Pascal said a large sum of money has been allocated by the budget to provide pure drinking water to people. Vallava farmers will be compensated for their crop damages tomorrow. The constable who drowned in a canal during active duty was promoted posthumously. Hydropower generates 16 billion rupees additional income for the Electricity Board last month. On international news, more hostages set for release on second day of truce. In sports news, Pakistan all-rounder Imad Wasim announces retirement from international cricket. Local stories in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the agricultural export sector should be strengthened in the endeavour of rebuilding the national economy. Accordingly, a special program will be implemented to promote minor export crops in the country. Under this plan, cocoa cultivation in the Kandy, Matale and Kurunegala districts will be popularized and coffee and cinnamon plantations will be revitalized in these districts. The President made these remarks at the District Coordination Committee meeting held at the Matale District Secretariat today. The President further said that special attention should be focused to generate innovative means of income. State sector must work in collaboration with the private sector to make this initiative a success. The President also paid attention for the problems of the people living in the Matale district and provided direct solutions to many of the problems presented to him at this meeting. Measures will be taken to solve pure drinking water problem and to develop rural roads in the Matale district without delay. Politicians and public officials, a large crowd of people in the district were also present at this meeting. State Minister of Finance Ranjit Simbalapitiya says that attention of the President is to be focused to pay at least 5,000 rupees from the amount of 10,000 rupees increased by the budget from next January onwards. The 10,000 rupees salary increase was originally planned to be paid from April next year. State Minister Simbalapitiya further said that the President is willing to pay 2,500 rupees increased allowance for the pensioners from January itself. However, this will cost the government a huge sum of money. The President and the Cabinet are attempting to earn this extra money by streamlining tax collection procedures. Today is the fourth day of the committee stage debate on the Appropriation 2024 bill. Heads of the Ministry of Water Supply and Estate Infrastructure Development were taken up for debate today. Opening the debate, parliamentarian Rauf Hakim said that only about 50% of the population have been provided with pipe-borne water facilities so far. Parliamentarian C.B. Ratnayake said that water sources in remote areas should be conserved. State Minister Anupa Pascal said that a large sum of money has been allocated to provide pure drinking water to people. Estate community should not be discriminated at any form. All communities must unite to build the country. Parliamentarian Dilan Pereira commends the estate community for their commitment to develop the national economy. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with the local stories, the Ministry of Agriculture has taken measures to pay compensation to farmers in the Vallava region for the damages of their crops in the past Yala season. Accordingly, 1,030 farmers will be symbolically compensated tomorrow at a ceremony to be held at the D.A. Rajapaksa Memorial Auditorium in Ambalipitiya. Minister Mahinda Amaravira will be chief guest of this occasion. A sum of 328 million rupees has been allocated for the payment of compensation in the Walava region. The police constable who drowned after having jumped into a canal in Jayala in pursuit of a suspect has been promoted posthumously. Police media spokesman SSP Nihal Talduwa said, accordingly, Police Constable Krishnamurthy Pratapan was posthumously promoted to the rank of sergeant. The 26-year-old police constable was reported missing last Friday when a suspect being chased down by a group of police officers had jumped into the canal in a bid to evade arrest. 4 police officers had subsequently followed suit and jumped into the canal, after which one of them was reported missing. A man who was in possession of 10 water gel sticks, a type of commercial explosives, and 15 non-electric detonators has been apprehended by the Navy in a joint operation conducted with the police. The suspect was taken into custody near the Trincomalee bus stand. The suspect was identified as a resident of Senthur in Poduvakkattu, aged 31. He has been handed over to Trincomalee Police for legal action. To conclude the local news, the headlines again. The President says that the agricultural export sector should be strengthened in the endeavour of rebuilding the national economy. Attention of the President will be focused to pay at least 5,000 rupees from 10,000 rupees of salary increase from next January onwards. State Minister Anupa Pasquale said a large sum of money has been allocated by the budget to provide pure drinking water to people. Walava farmers will be compensated for their crop damages tomorrow. The constable who drowned in a canal during active duty was promoted posthumously. Hydropower generates 16 billion rupees additional income for the Electricity Board last month. That concludes the local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatma.
And on the main news story, the Ceylon Electricity Board received an additional income of 16 billion rupees last month as hydropower generation took place at full capacity due to heavy rains. Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said in Parliament that a similar amount of income is expected this month as reservoirs had reached full capacity. The minister said the additional income would be used if a drought situation prevails in December, January and February as predicted. However, he said the Electricity Board had incurred an overall loss of 12 billion rupees in the first 10 months of this year. That came to you on the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatma.
Moving on to Watchlight. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board announced that the water supply for several areas within the Western Province has been interrupted due to the sudden breakdown of power in the Ambatale treatment plant. Accordingly, water supply for Colombo, Dehiwala, Mount Lavinia, Kotte and Kaduwela Municipal Council areas, the Maharagama, Burleskamur, Kolonnawa Urban Council areas, the Kotikawatta, Mulleriyawa Pradesh Sabha areas, and Ratmalana and Katubedda have been interrupted. The Water Board said that the restoration work is in progress at present. That ends Watchlight. Moving on to the world news, the headlines. More hostages set for release on second day of truce. Dublin riots saw most riot police deployed in Irish state history. Moment flash mob ransacks Nike store in Los Angeles. Today is the second day of a 4-day pause in fighting between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The first day on Friday saw the release of 24 hostages held by Hamas for 48 days. They included 13 Israelis, 10 Thais and 1 Filipino national. A few hours later, 39 Palestinian prisoners were released as part of the deal. In total, 50 Israeli hostages and 150 Palestinian prisoners are expected to be released as part of the Qatar-mediated agreement. The most riot police in Irish history were deployed to deal with Thursday's street violence in Dublin, the country's Justice Minister has said. Helen McEntee praised the police response to a riot which began following a knife attack in the city. 3 children and a school care assistant were stabbed outside a primary school several hours earlier. Sinn Féin, the largest opposition party, criticized the police response to the riot. A flash mob has ransacked a Nike store in Los Angeles, stealing $12,000 worth of goods. Footage released by the Los Angeles Police Department's Commercial Crimes Division shows a group of young people ripping clothing off the racks and carrying bags full of merchandise. Police say the group, which consisted of 17 suspects between the ages of 15 and 20, fled the premises in 5 different vehicles. Detectives are seeking assistance from the public in identifying the suspects. And to conclude the world news, the headlines. More hostages set for release on second day of truce. Dublin riot saw most riot police deployed in Irish state history. Moment flash mob ransacks Nike store in Los Angeles. That came to you in the world news.
Development news.
CIPM Sri Lanka, a human resource management body, announced an important milestone in their commitment to environmental sustainability by initiating a PET plastic collection and recycling program in collaboration with Coca-Cola Beverages Sri Lanka. Accordingly, a dedicated 50-kilogram recycling unit was installed recently adjacent to the head office building to facilitate the collection and recycling of used PET bottles to make a positive impact on the environment. Environmental sustainability is key concern for all organizations and individuals alike. With this new initiative, people will be encouraged for systematic recycling of plastic. That came to you in the development news.
Moving on with sports news.
Imad Wasim has decided to bring the curtain down on his international cricket career for Pakistan. After introspection, Wasim made the announcement on social media that he feels this is the right time to retire. Wasim appeared in 55 ODIs and 66 T20 internationals for Pakistan while scoring 1,472 runs in total and picking 109 wickets. That came to you in the sports news.
Go ekatiyana youth kat life ke change kat niyameta set na as wagena dakapu vina habe karanna youth kat niyameta set na friendship ekamenna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Kahawatha Plantations has announced that its Endane Special BOP1 tea has been highly commended at the renowned Leafies International Tea Academy Award 2023. The Leafies celebrate the world's finest loose-leaf teas and bring primary tea producers exposure to a global tea-focused market. Endane Special BOP1 tea stood out among 320 tea varieties from across the globe at the Leafies International Tea Academy Award 2023. This accolade is a testament to our commitment to producing the world's finest loose-leaf teas and the dedication that goes into every cup while promoting sustainable practices in the tea industry. That came to you in the business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekatiyana youth kat life ke change kat niyameta set na as wagena dakapu vina habe karanna youth kat niyameta set na friendship ekamenna.
The all-new NSB Itru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And on the economic news, Trade Minister Nalin Fernando says the cooperative movement will be restructured. He confirmed that cabinet approval has already been in this regard and a committee has been appointed headed by the Prime Minister. The committee is scheduled to submit a report in this regard within 2 weeks. The Trade Minister further said that the cooperative movement has had many setbacks, resulting in providing concessions to the public. The minister further remarked that due to the financial irregularities when purchasing goods, some cooperatives had to resort to selling their assets. That came to you in the economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in Sabrakamur, Central and Uva provinces after 2 p.m. Several spells of showers may occur in northern and eastern provinces. That came to you in the weather report. And to conclude this bulletin of news, the headlines again. The President says that the agricultural export sector should be strengthened in the endeavour of rebuilding the national economy. Attention of the President will be focused to pay at least 5,000 rupees from the 10,000 rupees of salary increase from next January onwards. State Minister Anupa Pascal said a large sum of money has been allocated by the budget to provide pure drinking water to people. Walava farmers will be compensated for their crop damages tomorrow. The constable who drowned in a canal during active duty was promoted posthumously. Hydropower generates 16 billion rupees additional income for the Electricity Board last month. On international news, more hostages set for release on second day of truce. In sports news, Pakistan all-rounder Imad Wasim announces retirement from international cricket. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.